Want to know how to solve a Rubik's Cube? Then watch this video. Okay, so a bit about this video. I'm going to be teaching you today how to solve a Rubik's Cube from scratch, and you're going to be able to memorize it within half an hour. None of this having to go back and check things again. This technique I put together took about 3 hours, sitting down, working it out. I then taught my girlfriend it, and half an hour later she could solve a Rubik's Cube from scratch. There are a few moves to learn, but we're going to do some memory techniques of how you can actually pick that up quickly and go away solving that Rubik's Cube like you've always wanted to do. There will be a link below, an Amazon link for picking up a Rubik's Cube if you want. It's not an Amazon affiliate link because my channel's not big enough yet to put those on. So if you want to help me out, hit that subscribe button and then I can put some Amazon links in for the future. Hope you enjoy, get energized, you're going to be doing a lot of learning today. Okay, so what's the memory trick that we're going to be doing? There's actually only 7 sequences of moves needed to solve any Rubik's Cube. Now what I've done is I've assigned a letter to each way of moving the cube. And then what I've done is I've put together a list of nouns that correspond to such letters in the moves, in the sequences, and then we're going to link them together with pictures. Say for example the first move is going to be called juice. Now so the move is J, and the next one after that begins with F, so I'll put that as frog. So we create an image of our mind of drinking a glass of juice and all of a sudden seeing a frog in there. And that's how you'll be able to remember the link between those two. I've created a system whereby we can remember all of these. They should be fine for you to remember them. If at any point you can't remember them, it will be because that you haven't created a strong enough image in your mind. So try and change the image a little bit, maybe make it brighter, maybe make it a little bit funnier, maybe have a bit more emotion associated with it, and you should then be able to remember all of the moves you need to solve a Rubik's Cube. Let's get started. Okay. So the moves that we're going to be learning are A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M is a clockwise rotation of the front, and N is an anti-clockwise rotation. So for example, if I was to do move A, it would be moving this one down like so. Move B would be moving the centre one down like so. And move C would be moving the last one down like so. J, as an example, is going across this way. D is going across this way. And it's an easy way to remember them. You're just thinking A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, and then M is a clockwise rotation here, and N is an anti-clockwise rotation here. Those are the moves you need to know. Easy to work out if you forget which way they're going. The first stage that we have to complete here is solving one side of the colours completely. So for example, let's say we're going to go with blue. We're going to start off with this top corner here. We're going to check what's on the top of it. We've got a green here and we've got a brown on this side. So we go to the one next to it, which is already in the right place. We then need another blue with a green in the corner, which I'm just looking around. I've got a blue there, but it's not that one. It's over here. There we go. And we've got that one completed. We then move on to the next one, which needs to be a blue and a brown, which is down underneath here. So I'm going to bring that around. And if you see, I can just move it across here like so, but that moves the top one out. So what we're going to do, we're going to move, got the blue there, brown, want to bring it here. We're going to move this one out of the way bring it in, and then bring that back. And we're going to continue this, filling up this side. Now, there's no real great moves to remember doing this. It's just a little puzzle to solve. But if you start by going in the top corner and then moving your way down, you should be able to do it quite easily after a few attempts. Okay, so once we've finished that section, we should have one of our colours completed with the top layers of those colours all matched up. We then just need to rotate around until the colours here match with the centre colours that we have. So that's just one move this way, and then we've got these T's in the top. We're only worried about these 4 squares here. You may have other situations where the other one lines up, but that's not something we're focusing on at the moment. If we then flip this over, we can then start with our first move, which is called juice. Here's the memory thing of how to remember it.
Picture drinking a glass of juice, and as you start drinking it, all of a sudden you see there's a frog in there. Imagine a frog playing a guitar and how funny that would look. Now imagine a guitar with wheels on it, and it's actually a car. Now imagine a car filled with grass by naughty children who are putting grass through the windows. Now imagine someone's nose, but rather than hair coming out of their nose, they've got grass coming out of their nose. Now imagine a big nose on the front of a jumper, where someone wanted a Christmas jumper but they ended up with a nose on it and they're upset about it. Now imagine a very small jumper that goes onto a mouse, and how cute that little mouse looks with his jumper on.
Okay, so what juice does is, if we're holding the cube like so, if I did juice now, it would move this square to here. So if I check the top bit there, I've got green and brown. What colour have I got here? Brown. There's my green. So that's what we want to do. We want to do juice now, which will move this one to there. So you need to make sure that you hold your cube carefully when you're doing this to make sure you stay in the same orientation, which is the side you've completed facing down. So if we now start off with juice, we then got frog, so A, B, C, D, E, F, frog, guitar, car, grass, nose, jumper, and finally mouse. And if we see what's happened there, it has moved this one from here to here. So that's now in the right place. We then need to go and see if there's any more that we can do juice on. So we're looking for, well, we know white's on the top. This one needs to move from there to there. So that's not juice, that's one of the next moves we're learning. But do we have any others that we can do juice on? I don't think we do at the moment. So let's learn the next move, giraffe. Here's the memory sequence of how to learn giraffe.
Picture a giraffe with a really good friend that's a donkey, and the donkey riding around on top of the giraffe. Now imagine a donkey whose favourite food in the world is jelly. He just loves jelly, always wants to eat it. Now imagine a sculpture out of jelly that looks like an apple, a really intricate sculpture, but it's all wobbly like the jelly. Now imagine apple peel being used to make an entire jacket, you know, this jacket of apple peel that someone's walking around wearing. Now imagine a magazine full of information about jackets. All it is jackets, from the front to the back. Now imagine a giant trying to read magazines, but then being so small that he can't read them, and he's hunched over and he's trying to read these magazines, struggling. Now imagine a giant with a massive needle that he uses, a huge giant needle he uses for mending clothes and putting things together.
Let's do giraffe. We know we've got a yellow one here with the brown, which we need to move to this spot here. Giraffe takes this one to there. Juice goes that way, giraffe goes that way. So let's do giraffe, making sure we keep the cube in the right position. So giraffe, donkey, jelly, apple, jacket, magazine, giant, and finally needle. Ooh, bit stiff on the cube here, make sure we don't move it. Needle. So we've now completed this one here by moving it from there to there. Giraffe takes a piece, puts it there. Needle takes the piece and puts it there. You may find a situation whereby there are no pieces at the top that you want to move. The pieces may be stuck in these sections. To get them out, you can just do either giraffe or needle to move them out. Giraffe or juice, sorry, to move them out. You can now carry on, finish that part of the cube, and then move on to the next stage. So, this is the cube we now have. So we have the bottom layer done, and we have the middle layer done. We're only focusing on these two here at the moment. On the top layers, we can see that we do have a couple which are already in the right place. However, that's not what we're focused on here. What we're focused on is just making sure that the right square is there. So as long as it has, for this situation, a white, a green and a brown, that's in the right spot. It's in the correct orientation for us here, but we're not worried about that at this stage. So we know that's in the right spot, we know that's in the right spot, we know this one isn't in the right spot because we need to have an orange on there, and this one isn't in the right spot. So the next move, what it does, it swaps this one with this one. So for example, if these two were wrong, you would hold it this way and swap them over. You might have both, you might have a few wrong, so you might be doing this move a few times. We're only going to have to do it once to swap these two over here. So we hold the cube correctly, so we know that we're swapping this one and this one. And this move is dog. I'll now run the memory thing of how to remember dog.
Picture a really cute little fluffy dog, and that dog's owner is surprisingly a gangster. Now picture a gangster, and his favourite instrument that he likes to play all the time is the accordion. He serenades all the other gangsters with his accordion. Now imagine someone has got a mailbox which is this, looks like an accordion. It's been repurposed for this really quirky mailbox. Now imagine a mailbox in the jail where everyone is wanting to post their stuff, but they've only got one mailbox, so they're all queued up waiting to post their mail. Now imagine everyone in the jail all reading a newspaper. That's what they do. The jail is known for being the jail where people read the newspaper of all things all the time. Everyone in the jail all sat around reading a newspaper. Now imagine being out in the desert and finding loads of newspaper all over the place, just rolling around as if there's been some huge disaster which you would see in a city with paper flying around, but instead it's in the desert. Now picture walking through the desert and you see, rather than a mirage, you see a mirage for jam, a massive pool of jam that you're walking towards. Now imagine that in an airport, the best shop in the world for jam is located in an airport. They have thousands of varieties of jam and they're rewarded for this. Now imagine a jeweler who's been tasked with making a small ring that has an airport on it, this tiny little airport on a piece of jewellery. Now imagine a jeweler at the end of his shift knocking off, sneaking out back and smoking a joint.
Okay, so let's do dog. A, B, C, D, so we're going up this way. Dog, gangster, accordion, mailbox, jail, newspaper, desert, jam, airport, jeweler and joint. So if you now look at our cube, we should have all the corners in the right spots. We have a corner here, which is green, orange and white, which is correct. We have a corner here, which is orange, white and yellow, which is correct. This one, yellow, brown and white, and this one, brown, green and white. So our corners are now correct. Let's move on to the next move. So our next move is called finger. And what finger is going to do is going to allow us to rotate these cubes to make sure that they're in the correct position. The thing with finger is though, it rotates 3 squares at once. Let's say I'm holding the cube like so. It will rotate this one, and this one clockwise once. So if you can see here, it's actually going to put this one in the right position because that only needs to move once. But it's going to put this one out of position and this one out of position. It won't affect this one here. However, this one here needs to be rotated twice. It needs to be once to move there, once to move there. So we're actually going to do this move 3 times. We're going to do it first off by holding the cube like this, which will put this one into position, but these ones out of position, requiring 2 moves to put them back. And we're then going to rotate the cube like this, then do it at the same time, do the same move again twice, which will then put all these positions back into place of where we want them. So let's do finger. I'll run the memory system of how to run finger now.
Imagine a finger being waggled around by a judge. That's what he does all the time in the court. He's always wagging his finger. The judge wagging his finger. Now imagine a judge that lives in a caravan. Really bizarre, a high-powered judge who decides to live in a caravan. Now imagine a caravan travelling around, selling loads of jugs. That's what they do to get money. Lots of fancy, intricate jugs. Now imagine a jug with a fisherman painted on the side of it. A really beautiful picture of this fisherman on a jug. Now imagine a fisherman out fishing and he all of a sudden gets a massive jolt as something pulls on his line. Now imagine the word Jolt written beautifully on a journal. Perhaps that was the person's name, Jolt. Now imagine being in a cave deep down and you find the journal from some lost explorer who's been down there. Now imagine Jeep and they've brought out a new advert about how the Jeep is so good at going through caves. That's the thing they're focused on, massive caves for the Jeep. Now imagine a janitor who finishes work one day and he goes out and he has a brand new Jeep and everyone's wondering how he's got this brand new Jeep.
So let's do it. So holding the cube like so, we know where we're moving these 3 pieces. And we're starting off with finger, so A, B, C, D, E, F for our first move. So finger, judge, caravan, jug, fisherman, jolt, journal, cave, Jeep and janitor. So we should have 1 corner in the correct place and the other 3 not in the correct place. So that's our correct one. This one needs 2 moves to get it back. This one needs 2 moves to get it back. And this one needs 2 moves to get it back. So we'll now orientate it so that those are the ones that we're going to be working on, which is like so. So this is going to move this one, and this one, but it's only going to move them 1 spot. So we're going to now do finger twice to get them in the correct place. So again, D, E, F, finger, judge, caravan, jug, fisherman, jolt, journal, cave, Jeep and janitor. So let's look and see how we're doing. This one's still in the correct spot, which we like. This one needs to be moved once, this one once, and this one once. So we orientate again, put in the one we have in the correct position here, and we'll do it again. Finger, Judge, Caravan, Jug, Fisherman, Jolt, Journal, Cave, Jeep, Janitor. Let's move on to the next stage. So the next move we're going to be doing is Eagle. And what Eagle does is, well, first off, the aim that we're looking to do is to make sure we've got the correct square cube in each corner. The colours don't need to be orientated the correct way, but we just need to make sure the correct one's there. We've got the correct one here. Here, that's incorrect. That one's incorrect, and that one's incorrect. Now what this move does, when holding the cube like so, it will move this one there, that one there, and that one there. So in a triangle like so. So if we look at what we've got here, we need to move this one to here. But we know, our first move it will move it to there, second move will move it to there. So we need to do this move twice to move that one there, and then that should put the rest of them all in the correct space as well, looking at how the cube is currently orientated. Depending on how your cube is, you'll may need to do this a couple of times, just working out which way it goes. But we know that for us, it's just a fairly simple move. So I'm going to hold the cube like so. So we're going to move that one there, that one there, and that one there. And I'm now going to do Eagle. I run the memory system of how to remember Eagle now.
Imagine an eagle flying around but keeps getting scared because he keeps seeing ghosts everywhere. Imagine a ghost of a ballerina that you see one day, looking really strange and scary, looking through a window. Now imagine a golfer who his golf swing is like that of a ballerina. He swings around beautifully, hits the golf club. Now imagine a graffiti artist who's obsessed with doing graffiti of golfers around town. Now imagine an elephant that's taken up the art of painting and randomly produces this fantastic graffiti. Now imagine an elephant who really likes to be in the warm, so he's actually got his own little greenhouse that he goes and stays in all the time. Now imagine a greenhouse on a beach, and how bizarre that is for this greenhouse to be on a beach.
So A, B, C, D, E. So moving the centre one is actually a little bit tricky because you need to make sure that you're only moving the centre one. So Eagle, Ghost, Ballerina, again just the central one, Golfer, Graffiti, Elephant, being careful to move that centre one, Greenhouse, and Beach. There we go. So we should have just one move left to move them. So we've got one in place. That one is in the correct place as well, actually. That was in the correct place, and that was in the correct place. Ah, I was mistaken. It went the opposite way. Rather than going that way, it was going that way. So it moved them around and got them in place quicker than I expected. That was me forgetting something. Okay, so now we've got these in the correct spot. All we need to do now is rotate the colours. And I'll be showing that in the next move. For our final stage of the cube, you'll be left with something like this. You'd have bottom side completed, all these sides, these bits here, and then you'll have the corners in the correct places, but you usually will always have either the two opposite that need to be rotated once, or you'd have two next to each other that need to be rotated once, like this one, or you'd have this one. Now, the move is very similar for both options. So we're going to go first off with the first move, which does these two, which is the move clock. Now, when we do this move, it will actually complete this cube as it is at the moment. But then what I'll do is I will then teach you the next move so that you can do that if case this one and this one. So let me run through the memory of clock now.
Picture a clock flying high in the sky, as it's actually a really interesting kite. Now picture someone flying a kite, but when you go down the bottom of the string, rather than a piece of wood holding it, it's actually a carrot that someone's using. Now imagine a candle that looks just like a carrot. A shop selling all these candles, all looking like carrots. Imagine a kangaroo out in the wilderness that's been found, but he's surrounded by candles, having this nice little relaxing time in the dark. Now imagine a dangerous kangaroo running at you, holding a knife. Now imagine a clown with a knife on his jacket, which sprays water out of it, and you think how strange it is because that's not usually what you would see. Now imagine someone who collects clowns, little models of clowns, and they've got their favourite one of the whole collection, which is this beautiful gold clown. Now imagine the man with the golden gun, an easy James Bond reference here. Now imagine a gun with some lovely intricate artwork on the side of a fire. Now imagine a horse running in a race, and that horse's name is Fire. Imagine a hospital specifically designed to treat horses. It's a horse hospital. Now imagine an old church which has been converted into a hospital, which is really bizarre because the church isn't really big enough and everyone's wondering why it was done. Imagine being in a cave, going deep down and finding a church that's probably been there for thousands of years. Now imagine a cave shaped like a heart and how wonderful it looks, and it's one of those places you have to go and visit. Imagine a surgeon doing an operation, and as he opens someone up to get to their heart, all of a sudden he finds a flamingo in there, and it's very bizarre why a small flamingo would be where someone's heart is. Now imagine a gorilla riding a flamingo around. Now imagine a gorilla in a zoo, and a little girl goes to visit him every day, and that gorilla and that little girl are best friends.
So we rotate the cube like so. So we're going to be moving this one and this one. I'm going to hold it like that. Then I'm going to go clock, kite. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. It's going across this way. So make sure that we're just rotating the middle one. We then have carrot, candle, kangaroo, knife, so even again that little one, clown, gold, gun, fire, horse, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, hospital, church, cave, heart, flamingo, gorilla, and girl. So that's it. This Rubik's Cube is now complete. However, I'm now going to add that second move in now. So this is the cube where we have it all completed, but this time we have this one and this one which we need to rotate. So this is extremely similar to the last move, but just with 2 moves at the start and 2 moves at the end. I'll run through the memory of this sequence now, which is called Nightclub.
Imagine going to a nightclub, and that nightclub being absolutely filled with doves flying around all over the place. We then need to link dove to clock. So imagine a dove flying around, but always coming back to his owner and always landing on the clock in the front room. Once we've then done the clock sequence, as in the last point, we actually end on the word girl. So imagine a girl who's swinging an axe around, this massive axe, and this tiny little girl. Now imagine an axe which is actually really magnetic, so every time this knight swings at someone it sticks to their armour.
So let's start with nightclub. Hold the cube like so. We're going to be moving this one and this one. So nightclub, dove, clock, kite, making sure just moving the middle one there, carrot, candle, kangaroo, knife, clown, gold, gun, fire, horse, hospital, church, cave, heart, flamingo, gorilla, girl, axe, and finally magnet. And there we have it, a completed Rubik's Cube.